So again, what we're looking at is we have an inverted position. The female is a sexual aggressor and seducer. This is parallel with the male Orestes, the one who penetrates, the lover. And her client, or whomever she's after, is the Euronymos, the one who is to be penetrated. So what we're really looking at here is that this is less about gender and physical gender or your biological sex than the position of desiring or being subordinate. When you desire, you're in a male dominant position. When you are penetrated or subordinate, you're in a feminine position. Now, philia moves from the less powerful position and engenders good feelings in one with more powerful. So eros moves downward. Philia moves upward. So both men and courtesans or prostitutes desire targets belonging to another man, namely the young men and the young women that are in the houses living under their parents. Courtesans may use agoge at the beginning of their relationship to attract the man, and then philia, I would say, to maintain the relationship when they're well settled into a good pattern. A curious incident in which this is just a really interesting thing, because a female who is usually not considered lusty is unabashedly sexually aggressive. In Greek society, that is usually a no-no. So then we got this story about turtles. So this one kind of a naturalist tells a story about how usually female turtles are not into sexual activity. Male turtles try and they're just like, nah, not into it. But if a male gets this one magical herb, somehow the female turtles are then ready to get with it or ready to get busy. So what he's looking at here, and why Pharaonic brings this up, is this is a conception of gender in Greek society. Women are typically meek. Men are typically sexually aggressive. Sexual magic, however, might reverse this, reverses these roles. A woman can pursue a man in the way that a man pursues women or pursues other men. This does suggest a certain misogynist reading of female desire. Philia suggests rampant male desires that needs to be cooled by a woman. This eros suggests that females are usually meek, and to get them in the mood or to get them, to stimulate them to be ready for sex or a sexual relationship, these erotic rituals need to be put out to increase a woman's desires, to make her mad with lust and desire. Now, think about it this way, though. That's where Pharaonic lays out. Usually, men are very anxious, and they think that women are, in fact, naturally lascivious, and they need to be cooled down and calmed down. This eros magic is suggesting women need to be heated up and invigorated. So he's got this two kind of interesting arguments. One is for a misogynistic, so against women reading of this sort of dynamic, and the other is a misandrous one, against men. So in misogyny, and both of these models exist. It's not either or. You see both of these in the Greek culture. In misogyny, women are considered naturally chaste and males naturally lusty. So it's against women. So women are physically, intellectually, and morally inferior men. However, men fear that women are naturally lusty. So erotic rituals needed to inspire women. However, misandry, according to Pharaonic, my interpretation of ancient Greek love magic suggests, however, the existence of an alternative to this misogynistic model. And the misogynistic model is pretty much, it's there. And I'll call that a misandrist model. According to which men must torture and burn women because, like those female tortoises, women are by nature self-controlled and sedate and reluctant to have intercourse. Conversely, women use soporific portions and knotted cords to control the anger and the passion. Recall the semantic slippage of thumos and orge of their naturally wild husbands. Because, like those tortoises, they are otherwise passionate and difficult to control. Here, the erotic magic is used to make naturally sedate women erotically engaged, and philia magic is used to make the randy males not angry and filled with sexual desire all the time. So in some ways, the location of this female sexual anxiety might not be among men, as we've argued, because men aren't around the house all that much. They're in different places than women are for the most part, and they're gone for long periods of time. So maybe when they're around the house, they're not all that worried about agoge spells. On the other hand, women who are around the house, the mothers, the aunts, the co-wives and whatnot, they may have a different attitude. I start kind of thinking about this more and more and wonder about women's anxieties about these spells being used against the other women in their charge. We do notice in the Greek magical papyri, there's no erotic spell for unlocking a door or making a husband or father fall asleep. The main targets of these spells are the supposedly naturally chaste and modest women who need to be compelled to leave their families and communities. An easy lady, a lady who is easy to get, as an easy lady would be easy to get. You don't need magic. Perhaps I would actually argue these expressions of agoge afflicting a girl was a way to drive her out of the house. And this was engineered by older women to get rid of now adult girls. So yeah, so a girl has become a woman, hasn't left the house, and the other women are like, you need to get the heck out of here. You gotta go start your own life. I think someone's using agoge on you. You better get out of here. I mean, that's just kind of some fun speculation. Okay, so what's going on? We actually have in these erotic rituals, especially in this chapter, we have an example of female sexual agency. What we have, in fact, is a richly ambivalent and contradictory collection of competing explanations for what the Greeks perceived as the sometimes violent sexual desire of adolescent females, which was variously explained as a natural state or sign that it was time for the young women to marry and have children, that a god was angry at them or their family and had to be appeased, or that they were the victims of a magical attack. Boom. There's so much in that. So much in there. And here's my final point. Now, what do we learn from these spells? And I really love this quote, this final quote. From these magic spells, we actually see a challenge to declared gender roles. We see a whole bunch of more complicated things. Phaerone set out to just write about love magic, and they found all these complications of gender and desire and applications of magic. So what do we find? By abandoning or at least drastically revising this psychological model of a pathological user of erotic magic, be she Sophocles's Demoniera or the putatively lovesick male users of agoge spells, we might begin to see the techniques of philia charms and erotic spells as Socrates and Theodotes seemed to see them in the Xenophonic dialogue. Now, this was at the very beginning. There's a quote where Socrates states that he uses philatria, epoidoi, and iunx, which are love potions, incantations, and agoge spells. He, as a male, says he uses these female things, like he's a quasi-courtesan, and there's jokes in there as well. So what are these things? They are unremarkable, but useful devices that were probably used widely in ancient Greek by clear-headed individuals for very practical purposes. That's Greek love magic. See you next time.